So most people, including myself, don't have the luxury of unlimited funds. So value is important when we're making purchases. And the DJI Osmo Pocket may be that perfect camera in terms of purchasing cameras. Released in December of 2018, there are some very interesting sales going on for this little camera. And I usually do find it about a year after it comes out would be the best time to purchase any technology. It's new and still usable technology, but at a much lower price compared to when it first came out, just because there's usually a next generation model that's coming out or that's already out. So is the DJI Osmo Pocket this perfect camera? Let's go see. So some reasons to consider buying the Osmo Pocket right now. This guy. And the first is the image quality and the stabilization. Even a year after its release, the Osmo Pocket seems to be the only one in its class, the gimbalized mini camera. There has been other attempts like the Removu K1 and the DJI Osmo Plus, but these are definitely not pocketable cameras like these guys. And the other thing is that it's a very good mechanical stabilization. And this is in comparison to electronic stabilization that's in most smartphones and action cams, which tend to be a little bit less reliable when it's in low light situations. But this being a mechanical gimbal, it's always gonna be reliable regardless of the lighting amount. And also it has very good image quality for being such a small little camera. It can shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at about 120 frames per second. And subjectively speaking, I do think that it can take better image compared to your smartphone. And my favorite thing about the Osmo Pocket is the motion lapse. Being a gimbal, you can set 2 pivot points and then do a motion time lapse, which is really neat, as you can see here. And it's one of my favorite features and I do it all the time. And the other neat thing about this one is the face track. So it tracks your face, and being a gimbal, it's able to move with you. It's like almost having your own cameraman, which is really nice. And the other things that it can do are hyperlapses, regular time lapses, and also any kind of slow motion. And the second reason is the portability and size. It's like the perfect vlog and travel camera. And because it's so small, when you hold it like this, the only thing that sticks out is the lens portion, meaning you can vlog away very discreetly compared to a conventional camera where you're holding a big camera and everybody looks at you like you're crazy. You can discreetly just vlog while no one notices you. And that's a huge plus because it's even more discreet than vlogging with your phone. Because look, doing this compared to doing this is a lot less noticeable. And if you're more conscious about vlogging in public, then this is the way to go. And its small size comes especially useful when traveling. Gone are the days where you have to carry your heavy DSLR or mirrorless camera with multiple lenses, especially when you're out all day traveling. You just put this little guy in your pocket and just pull it out whenever you see something interesting and turn it on, and it turns on very quickly too, and just record whatever you find interesting. And the third reason to get this camera is the price. So $350 is definitely not a cheap price, but compared to other cameras and lenses that usually cost in the thousands, $350 is not a bad price. And especially, like I said, it's a year old now, so there are some aggressive sales going on for this camera. Usually about $350, and I've seen it during the Black Friday now with the Boxing Day coming up. I'm sure it'll come down to even lower price, and I've seen prices as low as $279, which is really cheap for a all-in-one travel camera. And the only other cameras at this price range, the $300 price range, that could compete with this Osmo Pocket would be the action cams. So the DJI Osmo Action and also the GoPro Hero 7. But I do prefer this guy still, just because the mechanical stabilization and also the motion lapse, as I mentioned. So now on to some reasons why you should wait for the Osmo Pocket 2 that hasn't even been rumored yet. And first is the small sensor size and also the narrow angle field of view. And to me, it's not a problem. I'm very happy with the Osmo Pocket's evening or low light footage, but it is the same sensor size as in most smartphones, so it's not gonna have the best low light capabilities. And like I said, to me it's not a problem because I'm not shooting any cinematic sequences. I'm just recording my life events and travels, and the Osmo Pocket does a very good job at those two things. And another thing is the narrow angle. To me, it's not a problem. The 28mm field of view of the Osmo Pocket is definitely wide enough for me, but some people who are used to action cams may find the narrow field of view a problem. And this may be fixed in the Osmo Pocket 2 because the Osmo Action, the action cam made by also DJI, has a dewarp feature. So it has a fisheye look, which can be dwarfed to have a regular standard camera look. And the second reason is its fragility. Being a mechanical gimbal, it has lots of moving parts, meaning it just won't be as durable as your action cams. And the second Osmo Pocket is probably gonna have the same problem, but maybe it'll add in a locking mechanism like all these new gimbals, because right now the part, when it's turned off, it'll still have free movement in these gimbal axes. Because it's exposed, it's prone to getting damaged. So you do need a gimbal case like these to put onto the gimbal like that, or you need a full camera case like these that come from DJI from factory. But in either case, it's not going to be as durable as the action cam, so invest $20 and buy Osmo Shield, which is their warranty program or protection program that protects you from accidental damage up to 2 years. And the third reason is the other areas of improvement. And the first one is the built-in mic jack. They can build the mic jack into the port of the Osmo Pocket. It'd be much better than buying this little dongle for about $50. And I'm not a designer or an engineer, but I think it's possible if the Sony X3000 from 2016 can have a mic input. The DJI Osmo Pocket 2, whenever it comes out, can have it too. And the second area improvement is the non-removable battery that it has. To me, it hasn't been a problem because I would just charge while I'm not recording. So I never had an issue of not being able to record because I was low on batteries. But it's not as convenient as swapping in fresh batteries and just go. You do have to worry about charging it when you're not using it. So the DJI Osmo Pocket is that perfect mini camera for everyone who's on a budget. Especially now with some crazy sales going on for the DJI Osmo Pocket, it's a no-brainer. You have to get it. And even with its weaknesses, I would recommend it to everybody who is a non-cinematographer who's just looking to record their blogs and also their travel. But what are some of your suggestions for the best budget cameras? Let me know down below, and until next time, bam!